In 2019, Elizabeth Hargrave's Wingspan became one of the biggest board games of the modern era, and for years it only got bigger. So in 2026, Hargrave went the other way. She shrunk it. Hey, welcome to the Rulebook. I'm your host, and today we're learning how to play Wingspan Pocket. Wingspan Pocket, 1 to 5 players, about half an hour at any player count, ages 8 and up. Same designer, same artists, same gorgeous birds. 106 of them from all around the world, including some African and Arctic species we haven't seen yet in the big Wingspan. All in a box the size of a paperback. And the whole game is built on one clever idea. Every card is double-sided. A bird on one side, food on the other. When you take a card, you decide which one it is. And that choice is permanent. No dice tower, no food tokens, no player boards. One deck that does everything. You're building a flock, a single row of birds. And here's the engine part. Every turn, your entire row activates, left to right, including the bird you have just played. 6 birds ends a game, most points win. If you know Big Wingspan, this is that feeling distilled. If you don't, this is the friendliest front door the series has ever had. And a quick heads up, this is a complete guide to the multiplayer game. Set up every rule, every icon, scoring, and all the advanced goals. Use the chapters to jump wherever you need. The box also comes with its own solo mode against the Automa, and it's meaty enough that I'm covering it in a separate video. Let's set it up. Setup takes about a minute. Ignore the advanced goal rules if this is anyone's first game. Shuffle all the cards food side up, and deal 6 to each player in a pile. Set those aside for a second. Split the rest into 4 roughly equal decks, food side up, in the middle of the table. Flip the top card of each deck, bird side up, and place it next to its deck. That's the supply. 4 face-up birds, 4 face-up foods, always 8 things to choose from. Leave room for 1 shared discard pile, and put the eggs where everyone can reach them. Now for each player, take a nest card. This starts your flock, the row your birds will join. It's your player board, your action reference, and later your score track. Take one of the player tokens and put 1 egg on your nest, then pick up your 6 cards, flip the top 2 to the bird side, and lay all 6 below your nest. That's your reserve. 2 birds, 4 food. 2 things here. First, your reserve stays face up on the table all game. It's open information, and it stops anyone from forgetting which side a card is. Second, you can arrange it however you like. If everyone's played before, use the advanced setup. Instead of blindly flipping the top 2, choose which 2 of your 6 becomes birds. Your opening birds matters a lot in this game, so once you know it, always do this. And also, for the experience table, the goals. Place the goal display where everyone can see it and deal 2 random goal cards onto it, either side up. The rest go back in the box. How they score, we'll cover at the end. For now, they just sit there quietly judging your birds. And if this is your first time, just ignore these goal cards for now. You can place them all back in the box. Whoever gets a start player marker at random goes first. Now, before our first turn, let's do some bird watching. Let's read these cards. Everything you need to know about a bird is printed right on his card. Let's take the tour. At the top left, the cost, the food and sometimes the egg you have to pay to play it. Below that, the points it's worth at the end of the game. The egg icons show its egg limit, the most eggs this bird can ever hold. The number with the CM is its wingspan, and that only matters when predators comes hunting, and we'll get there. And along the bottom, the bird's power, shown almost entirely in icons. Now let's flip to the food side. 1 or 2 food types. If a card shows 2, say a worm or a fish, you can spend it as either one, but not both. 1 card is always exactly 1 food. And that's really all there is to a card. The power icons will pick up naturally once the birds start activating. But that's enough bird watching for now, so let's take a turn. Every turn in this game is the same 2 steps, plus a bit of upkeep at the end. You got number 1, take 1 nest action, and number 2, activate your flock left to right. Then you refill the bird supply. So step 1, take exactly one of the 3 actions printed on your nest card. Play a bird, draw 2 cards, or lay eggs. Step 2, sweep across your whole row of birds and fire their powers. Let's take the actions one at a time. Action 1, playing a bird. Pick a bird from your reserve, pay its cost, and add it to the right end of your flock. And notice that's from your reserve. You never play a bird straight out of the supply. Every bird has to be drawn into your reserve on an earlier turn first. So each bird you play is really 2 turns of work. 1 to collect it, 1 to play it. Now for the food costs. Discard food cards from your reserve, food side up, to the discard pile. A wild icon in that cost means any food type works for that slot. And if you don't have the right food, there's always the exchange rate. When playing a bird, any 2 food cards you have in your reserve count as 1 food of any type. It's painful, but it keeps you moving. And some birds also cost an egg. Pay it from your nest or from any of your birds. And note, eggs are not food, so no 2-for-1 conversion here. Action 2. Drawing 2 cards. Take any 2 cards from the supply, 2 face-up birds, 2 foods off the tops of the decks, or 1 of each, your call. They go into your reserve exactly as you took them. And just a reminder, if you took a card as food, it stays as food. And the same the other way if you took it as a bird. New players often have the instinct to flip over cards after grabbing them, but you can't do that in this game. And here's a bit of housekeeping. Food decks refill themselves. There's always a top card. Empty bird slots refill from the deck next to them at the end of your turn, so no new options appear mid-turn. And there's no limit to your reserve size, so feel free to stockpile. Just know that the cards still in your reserve are worth 0 points at the end. Their only job then is breaking ties. And one optional rule from the book: while you're drawing, if 3 or more face-up food cards in the supply are exactly identical, you may discard all of them at once to freshen the market. And if a food deck ever runs out, shuffle the bottom half of the discard pile as a new deck immediately. The food decks are never meant to sit empty. And your final action, laying eggs. Lay up to 3 eggs, each on a different card, your birds or your nest, that still has room. Every bird has this egg limit printed on it. Your nest holds 3. Fewer than 3 legal spots, you can still take this action and lay what you can. Eggs are the game's quiet currency. Each one is 1 point at the end, and some birds cost an egg to play. One thing to remember though, once an egg is placed, it has to stay put. You can spend it, but you can never move it to another card. Alright, so you took one of your 3 nest actions. Now the next part is when your engine comes alive. Nest action done. Now take your player token and walk it across your flock, left to right, activating every bird with the brown power, one at a time. And here are just 2 things Wingspan veterans need to hear. First, it's left to right, the opposite direction from the big wingspan. Second, and this changes everything, the bird you just played activates too. No waiting a turn, play it and it fires immediately with the rest of the row. Every power is optional. Skip any bird you like, and the token is simply there to mark where you are so you always know which bird you're on. Brown powers fire every single time your token passes over them, turn after turn, all game long. And the icons read like little sentences. Draw a card. Take a card from the supply into your reserve. Some powers say any card, some say any bird, some say a bird showing a specific food and its cost. Tuck a card. Slide a card from your reserve behind this bird just as it sits. Each tuck card will also give you 1 point at the end, so you want to spam this as much as possible, but only 1 tuck per bird per turn. Hunt. The predators. Look at the top card of any food deck and peek at its bird side. If that bird's wingspan is smaller than the number on your predator, tuck it, 1 point. Otherwise, discard it. A little push your luck snack. Lay an egg. Add an egg to any of your cards with room. An arrow between icons means pay then get. Discard what's before the arrow to gain what's after it. 2 icons with no arrows are independent. Do either or both in any order. And some powers benefit all players, including you. If it says from 1 deck, everyone draws 1 card from a deck you choose in an order you choose. And remember, powers are optional. So if you skip a bird like this, nobody gets the goods. And then there are green powers. They don't activate, they're permanent, switch from the moment the bird hits your flock, and your token just skips over them. They bend the rules in your favor for the rest of the game. Ignore 1 specific food in bird costs, a discount on every future bird. Spend 1 food type as any food type. Powers that name a specific food now counts as any food. These affect your brown powers. Or copy a green power sitting in an opponent's flock. Green birds are your engine's lubricant. They don't add points every turn, they make everything else cheaper and smoother. And when your token reaches to the last bird, your turn's over. Token back onto the nest, refill any empty bird slots in the supply, and play passes clockwise. And that's a loop. 1 action, 1 sweep. Early on, the sweep is 1 or 2 little pings, but in later turns, you'll be grabbing food, popping eggs, hunting birds, all in one sweep. The moment any player has 6 birds in their flock, the end is triggered. That player finishes their turn, then everyone keeps playing until all players have had the same number of turns. So if the trigger wasn't the last player in order, the rest will get their final go. This is where the start player marker comes handy. Then everyone flips their nest card, and it becomes your score track. Grab 2 spare eggs as markers and count. First, you count the point values listed on your birds. Then you count the number of eggs that you have, including the ones on your nest. Then grab all your tuck cards and start counting them. And if you're playing in the advanced mode, look at the goal cards and get 1 point per egg on a specific type of bird that satisfies that goal card. Most points win. Tie, most cards left in your reserve takes it. Still tie, then you share the victory. Now, the one rule everyone gets wrong, so let's say it very clearly. Goals don't score the birds. They score the eggs sitting on the qualifying birds. 1 point per egg per goal. And yes, the same egg can count for both goals at once. So goal isn't a checklist, it's a target telling you where your egg should live all game. And that's Wingspan Pocket. One action, sweep the row, and never forget, every card you take is a fork in the road. A bird or a food, forever. This isn't Big Wingspan, and it isn't trying to be. It's a 30-minute version, the one you teach in 2 minutes, take on a vacation, and put in front of a family member who's been intimidated by that big box on your shelf for years. And underneath the small footprint, the sequencing of those 6 birds gives you plenty to chew on. The only thing it can't do is fit in your pocket. If small boxes with a big engine are your kind of thing, I cover plenty of them on this channel, so subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's in the rulebook.
Do you hear that? My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat,